Hi guys, welcome back. So finally the Australian borders are open and there are so many international students coming into Australia. So in today's video, we'll look at the 5 most important things you need to do once you come to Australia. As soon as you land in Australia and you are done with the testing for COVID and other requirements of immigration, make sure that you get yourself an Australian SIM card. The reason why you will need an Australian number from day one is because you'll have to apply for accommodation, you'll need it to register your bank account, you'll also need it for so many other things like applying for jobs as well as also sharing and connecting with people in Australia. So make sure that you get a number. So how do you get a number is the next big question. There are so many ways and so many operators that give you good deals. But I'd advise that you get yourself a postpaid service. So there are popular postpaid services like Telstra, Optus, Vodafone among others. I'd advise that you get a network from these guys because you will then be able to upgrade to a telephone plan or also get yourself iPads, iPhones and things like that. So in that sense, getting a postpaid plan is good. But remember, postpaid plans are rather expensive. If you're someone who is not so keen on buying phones or other gadgets, you can go for a prepaid service. There are a lot of prepaid operators. Optus, Vodafone also have prepaid services, but there are other cheaper services that are available, links to which I'll attach in the description below. The second most important step after securing a Australian phone number is making sure that you activate your bank account. So if you're someone who's coming from India, ideally you would have already opened a bank account here in Australia, most likely with either Commonwealth Bank of Australia or ANZ. In either cases, all you need to do is just take your passport, your COE and just go to the bank and give them your details. Having a mobile phone number will be extremely useful. Otherwise, you'll have to give them your friend's number and then go to the bank or change the phone number on the mobile application. So to avoid all the hustle, make sure that you get your mobile number first and then go to the bank to start your bank account. Now the third most important thing that you need to do is go to your university and get yourself a student ID card. So the student ID card will be extremely useful and will allow you several concessions such as travel concession among others. So the student ID will be available in the admissions section of your university and all you need to do is just take your passport and a copy of your COE and then you will be awarded with your student ID. But be advised, if you're someone who's coming to Australia well in advance, that is, if your course is starting say in the month of March and you're coming here in the third week of January or third week or fourth week of Jan, then there are cases that you may not be given the student ID straight away. So be careful about when you plan to come and try to come probably 1 or 2 weeks before the start of university. That way you will save unnecessary cost towards rent and other things. Now moving on to number 4, you need to get a Metrocard. So what does a Metrocard mean? A Metrocard is basically a travel card that allows you to use public transportation here in Australia. The name for this card may vary from state to state. In South Australia, it's called a Metrocard and it's green in color. I'll pop it up on the screen so that you get an idea about which card to choose when you go to buy this card. So where do you buy this card? You can get it at the nearest post office. There is a post office on each of the university campuses. So all you need to do is just go up to that office and then show your student ID and then get the green colored Metrocard. So the green color Metrocard means that it is for students and you will have concession rates when you travel to and fro to the university campus. Now let us talk about the fifth most important document, and that is the age card. So when you are here in Australia, you do not have any Australian documentation except for your student ID and the Australian visa. So it is ideal that you get yourself an Australian document, and the age card is one of the foundational documents here. So the age card basically just identifies your name and date of birth and gives you a specific client number. And this client number remains consistent throughout all of your future documents such as Australian driving license among other documents. So make sure after you're done with registering your or rather activating your bank account and getting yourself a student ID, make sure to get yourself an age card. And before I conclude this video, I'll mention a bonus document that is absolutely necessary, and in my previous videos I've spoken about it, that is securing a driving license. Remember, if you're coming from India, make sure that you get your driving license And if it is not in English, make sure to get a translated version of your driving license. If you're from neighboring countries, make sure you get a translated version of your driving license if your license does not mention your details in English. This will be extremely useful as it will allow you to simply bridge your international driving license to Australian driving license without having to go through an entire 2 years process to secure an Australian driving license. So that was a quick video, guys. If you liked it, do consider sharing it with your friends and subscribe to my YouTube channel. Stay tuned for more videos.